This year we want to do better.
Oh, yes.
I want to do better. Money-wise.
Before you can set your finances straight, you need to understand your purpose of doing.
Everyone, welcome to another episode of Centered, where we talk about things that help us stay grounded, balanced in our everyday lives. I'm JMN, and we have a guest in the studio today. But before I introduce her, or before she introduces herself, the word of the day is self-love. This year, be selfish enough to look after yourself, look after your finances, look after everything that has something to do with you. Not in a bad way, but in a positive way. So look after yourself. So we have a guest in the studio. She's a money enthusiast. She's a financial analyst, and I will allow her to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Olakweri, and I'm a licensed financial agent. And Happy New Year to you.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
2026. Wow.
Yes, and what's better way to start the year
than to talk about money.
money.
Okay. This year we want to do better.
Oh, yes.
I want to do better. Money-wise,
Yes.
I want to do better. I want to invest my money in the proper way. I want to do a lot of things. And I'm like, okay, let's start the year with money talk. So how can we do better when it comes to money this year?
Thank you very much. And Happy New Year once again. Happy New Year to everyone. This year is going to be great. And
Amen.
we hope that we need to, I like what you said about self-love, and that links to our finances.
Yes.
If you love yourself, you'll be able to set boundaries, whether to do something or to achieve anything you want to achieve, So that's the best way to start, self-love. And before I can go into the things that we need to do in terms of finances, I want us to be able to have the purpose. Why? Why do I need to do this? And one of the things that we've heard is that when a purpose of something is not established, abuse is inevitable.
Yes.
So it's very important that before you can set your finances straight, you need to understand your purpose of doing it. JMN, start putting $1,000 aside. If you don't know why you're going to put $1,000 aside, guess what? The first time you'll need to take out 1,000, that's 1,000 that you're putting aside will be the first thing you're going to stop.
Yes.
So it's important for you to have an emotional connection to why you want to set your finances straight this year. So that is one of the things. So part of your exercise, and it's going to be an exercise, everyone, take a pen and paper, write it out and say, this is my why to achieve my financial stability, financial freedom this year. So that is the first thing you do. That will remind you, because the getting is going to get tough. You understand? So that's when they say when the going gets tough, right? And you have to remind yourself back to, why am I doing this? Instead of buying that coffee and you tell yourself that I don't need to buy that coffee today because I'm saving towards something, because of my purpose. So it's very important to start with your emotional connection to your reason for wanting to have that to set your finances straight. The next thing you want to do is to write it out. Okay, and that is your moment of truth. One of the things that they say to us is that when you're going to your doctor, you cannot hide where it's hurting you. You have to be, the truth needs to start with yourself.
Yeah.
Which is that, where am I financially? And there are 5 stages of financial status that you can be.
Okay.
You can either be in financial crisis. And when we talk of financial crisis, that is when you need to borrow to meet your needs. Okay? Then financial instability, that is when you need 2 jobs or extra source of income to meet your needs. And then you have financial stability, where you have a job, a good job, relatively good job. It meets your needs, but you cannot afford to lose that job. And then you have financial independence where you're able to meet your needs comfortably with your source of income. And then you get into financial freedom. Financial freedom is where you're able to not only meet your needs, it goes beyond that. Your source of income meets your needs and you're able to help humanity. I was reading about a lady. She said, oh, 2024 5 was great for her. She showed her income from July to August, and she said, I was able to build 2 houses for my parents. I was able to do this for my siblings. I was able to do this for the
People go online to say
they
all
do.
those.
Oh, yeah. I saw it this morning, and she even posted her income.
Wow.
So, what am I saying here? It gets to, so it tells you one, identify where you are, and then identify where you want to be. You cannot be ashamed of where you are, and you cannot be, you have to be accountable for where
You have to
are.
tell yourself the truth.
Exactly. So understanding, okay, this is where I am. And then you have to say whether you're sick or you're healthy, you have to be able to understand that. And then even if you say you're healthy, but you say, you know what, I want to shed some weight, or I want to, that is where your moment of truth. And this part, nobody can help you do that but yourself.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So understanding that, and then the next thing will be to do your assessment. And what do we mean by your assessment? You need to now put into paper. At this time, you have a pen and paper again. You have to be able to say, okay, I am here. I am at my financial independence, but I want to get to my financial freedom. I'm at my financial crisis. I want to get to my financial independence, whatever it is. And then you now come to say, what are my expenses? What are my income? That is what is coming in for me. And then you also highlight what is going out. What are my expenses? It is when you are able to identify your expenses that you'll be able to see, oh my God, I pay a subscription of Amazon and I've never used Amazon all year.
Yeah.
That is where you're able to shed the dead weight. So it is very possible. Someone was saying it. It was also, I saw that on a post and they were like, I did analysis of my finances and I realized I'm spending $150 on subscriptions that I do not know about. So it is very important. And one of the things that we find out that is that it is, you need to be truthful in understanding this is where I'm spending my money on. And you cannot have sentimental attachment to those things that, oh, and JMN was the one that introduced me to this. I don't want to disappoint her. You, like yourself, self-love, you got to cut it off. So if it's not working, cut it off. Yeah. And another thing that you also
when it comes to subscription, I know a lot of us, we want to like relax, watching movies and all of that. One thing that I do is before I had this Netflix that you have to pay, I think $22 every month. And I thought, why am I paying $22 when Netflix has $7 or $7.99 with advert?
Yeah.
And a lot of people be like, oh, they don't want advert. I like the advert because it introduces me to things that I don't even know that, oh, this is how this is used. This is how that. So it's a part of it. Yep. And you're not just sitting there 3 hours, 4 hours, just watching movies.
Yeah.
So drop from $22 to $7.99. It's a great deal. So drop it to it. Exactly. And Amazon or other things, if I don't need it, sometimes I let them accumulate over the time, maybe 3 months, 4 months. And 1 month I just decide, okay, I have time to see a lot of movies. So I just subscribe. And after that, I'm cutting it off. Don't leave it on for years. And you're not watching more than a movie or two in 3 months.
Exactly. And another thing is you can even, you might as well just pick one. Do I want Amazon Prime so I can have the free delivery?
There are some movies on Netflix that you don't have on Amazon. Oh, yeah. So the thing is, you have to choose which one do you want to have on, and then the other one Sometimes.
Sometimes, exactly. So, but you don't have to have both of them running at the same time.
Yeah.
And plus, this year we're going to get busy. We're going to make more money.
Exactly.
So you won't have much time. You're watching people that are making money. You also have to make money.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have that much time to say, okay, I have time to watch two subscriptions at a time. So that is what one of the things that I wanted to say. And when you do this analysis, it tells you whether or not you have a surplus or a deficit in your income. Do you have surplus, that you have enough money, or you have deficit? And if you do have surplus, after doing that, you need to check your bank account. And it tells you, where is my money going? So most of the time, this assessment, you tell yourself, okay, I have $1,000. I should be having $1,000 surplus. Where is it going? You understand? So that is one of the things that I would say. Another thing that we are saying here is that when you're sick, right? Okay, even individually, and I will give you an illustration here that.
I like to stay positive.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so an individual catches a flu.
Okay.
You go into the pharmacy, you just pick some medications. Maybe someone tells you, oh, take this medication, take that medication. You take them. Or you go to a pharmacist to say, I'm having these symptoms. What would you recommend? They give you the recommendations. Which of the scenarios would give you a better outcome? Going to pick up the medications by yourself, or going to the experts to recommend for you?
It depends.
I would say the experts will give you a better outcome.
Okay.
So, because you're going to someone that you might be saying you have a flu. What if you have a cold or you have a pneumonia?
Okay, you're right.
Do you understand? So it is very important that, and most of the time, some symptoms overlap, and it makes you feel like, oh, this is what I think I'm feeling, or this is what I think I need to treat, whereas this is what you actually need to treat. So it is also important for you to find yourself a financial advisor, a licensed expert to help you. So understanding that there is a problem, identifying the problem, giving your symptoms. Okay, so say it as going to a doctor and saying, I feel this way, I feel that way, these are my symptoms, and then there will be diagnosis.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is the experts that can give you the proper diagnosis. And that, in that sense, you would have, if you're in deficit, you may need to pick up an extra job as a source of income. But one of the things that I would say when we take on an extra job as source of income is that we should have a goal for wanting to do that. You shouldn't have an extra job and still be in debt. You shouldn't have an extra job and still be in the same financial situation that you're in. So you want to do that. You want to make extra income in order for you to alleviate your current position, whether it is financial instability or financial crisis or even stability, that you want to make sure it propels you into the better part of it, which is either financial independence. And the truth of it is that for humanity's sakes, we want to be in the financial freedom state. The stages of financial foundation is proper protection, debt management, emergency funds, and investments. Proper protection, when we talk of that, is we don't want anything bad to happen to us. We do not pray. I like the positive view. I've always loved the positive view. But you know what? We always have to prepare for eventualities. We do not want them to happen. So click on the YouTube for more details on that, proper protection. And then we have debt management. So when you look at, most of the time, what takes us to the place of negative is because there is debt and you're paying interest on top or on them. And when we're talking of debt management, you have to look at two types. There are two ways of dealing with debt management. Whether it's the snowballing, which is that you want to start with the least amount. And then when you even pay the, so let me give you an example of snowballing. I have 5 credit cards. One is $100, one is $200, and one is $300, $400, and $500. I start with the one with $100. I pay it off. I pay that off. What I'm supposed to be paying on that $100, I add it to what I'm paying for the $200. Okay, so the fact that I've paid off my $100 does not mean that $20 every month is gone. That $20 goes in addition to what I'm supposed to be paying to the $200. So I'm able to pay off the $200 off. The balance I'm supposed to be paying for the $100 and the $200, I put it into the $300 and I'm able to pay it off quicker. And then the accumulation of all the three go into the $400 and then go into the largest amount of money. That is the snowballing effect. And then we have the avalanche effect, which is you pay the one that has the highest interest rate. So if you have a credit card that is 25% interest rate, you want to pay off that one first. Okay, so when you pay that off, then you can go to the one with the 20%. You go to the one with 19%, and so on. So that is the other way to get to be able to manage debt. Then the next thing is you having emergency funds. I know you love to be positive. I appreciate you being positive. No, like I said, nobody goes out there to say, "Hey, I'm looking for trouble," right? But sometimes things happen. I've seen people go to work and the morning they're just getting to their desk and they're saying, "Please pack your bags and leave." What happens? And so it is very important. So part of your goals for this year is that you want to be able to put aside 3 to 6 months of your income, of your expenses aside.
You're gonna scare
I
people
know,
away.
but you need to. But hold on, that is the eventual goal. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe they can start with like
You can even
500
start
to
with
1,000.
$100.
Okay.
Start small.
Yeah.
Okay, so
$100. And if you're not in this part of the world, you can start with 100 naira.
or even no,
It's
100
it's the mindset.
I would say 10,000 naira.
But it's the mindset.
It's
If you can
mindset,
put
yeah.
aside 100 naira and the following week you add to it, it's a mindset.
That's
I'm trying
true.
to like say this from the perspective of everybody can save.
Everybody
You don't need to be extremely super rich
yes
to be able to put something aside.
I agree with
Yeah.
you. And we call something baby steps.
Yes.
Okay. So baby steps. I can tell you now that, what you need right now is $1 million.
And
That
you're
was
correct.
yes,
I do
think
need
you
it.
You need $1 million.
I need $1
but
million.
is it going to happen? Except you win a lottery today.
Yeah. Or maybe go on one of Mr. Beast's game and win and win $1 million.
Yes, but without that, you start baby steps.
Yeah.
Baby steps. So when we talk of emergency funds, yes, you may need 3 to 6 months of your income. That is the ideal, and that should be everyone's goal. Start with $100, 10,000 naira. Put it aside. Don't touch it. Another $100, come put it on top till you get to $1,000. Till you get to
a million
or even $100,000. That is how you start accumulating, and it's all about the mindset. And remember what we said back at the beginning: your emotional connection. You don't want to be doing JMN, can you please give me $20? I just
available.
self-love, right? You understand? So we shouldn't be, if by the time we're calling people for help, it should be because we need a big help. So it's very important that you have emergency funds. So start with that. Your goal might be before August, I want to be able to have $1,000 to my name, or before the end of this year. Even if your goal is to have $1,000 in your account for by December 2026, that is still fine. It is so, it is better. You're not where you're supposed to be, but you're not where you used to be.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that is what it is. And then the next thing is investment. So that 1,000 or whatever you have accumulated, you need to be able to put it in, either you put it in an high interest savings account that you have access to, or you put it in for us here in Canada, we also have to understand our taxes. And wherever you are all over the world,
Yes.
you need to understand your taxes, because any ROI, any return of interest, investments that comes to you, you may be taxed. So you want to always put your money in tax advantaged accounts. So tax interest accounts, like in Canada we call it TFSA. I believe UK also has one, and in the US they call it Roth IRA account. So you want to make sure that you've put that first $1,000 there. And another caution here is that always check your limits. If you do not check your limits and you overzealously
will be taxed.
you will be taxed. So it's very important that you do that. And then we go into investments. Investments comes from self-love. I like, I don't know, that was a good one. Self-love and self-devotion. One of the things we talk about, self-discipline. Self-discipline is, yes, sometimes self-discipline comes like a punishment, but when you come from a self-love, you come from not betraying yourself, but coming to say, I'm doing this for myself. And that links us back to that emotional connection that we talked about. And that is where you say that, you know what, every month I want to commit myself to be putting this amount of money aside. If you are able to do
in the emergency fund or in a separate,
you've put your emergency fund, so you've
Aside.
achieved your emergency funds, and you can suppose the way there's no clear cut of which one do
I
you
wanted
want
to ask, what is the timeline for all of these things? Because it sounds like something someone would do for a whole year or something.
So I would say to you, depending on how big you want to achieve, or in terms of what you want to achieve, and all, it's very important that you.
Or can they happen simultaneously?
You can do it simultaneously.
One is going on, the other one you're working on it.
So one of the things I want you to understand is affordability and sustainability. You understand? You can't be overzealous and say, "Oh, I need $1 million. I'll be putting aside."
And I will not do any other thing. All my money. Your $1 million must complete.
That's what will happen. If anything happens, if you want to change your tires from winter tires to all season, that is what you're going to go into. So you don't want to do that. So it is very important that you're being realistic with yourself. You want to do something affordable and sustainable. You understand? So in terms of which one, and I know audience might be asking, what do I do first, my emergency funds or my investment? You can do both hand in hand, but you want to prioritize your emergency funds, because if anything were to happen, you don't want to go into your investment. So if you had to change your tires, like I said, you don't want to go into your investment.
But someone might be thinking in their mind, what am I investing for? What am I saving for? Okay, I get the saving part because, I might need to change my tire suddenly. You're driving and your tire bust.
What happened to Miss Positive?
yeah, that could happen.
Yeah.
That's not as bad. Your perspective is scary. But let's continue. So you need to fix your tire. You can easily access your emergency fund. But when it comes to investment, someone might think, I have emergency fund. Why do I need to invest?
Okay. So one of the things to achieve when we talk of financial freedom, okay, or even financial independence is, and I believe, I can't remember who said it particularly, but the person said, it is when your money starts working for you while you sleep. That is when you've achieved financial independence as financial freedom. You cannot rely on yourself alone as your source of income. Your money also has to be a source of income for you. So your emergency fund is for the things you don't plan for. Then your investment is for it being a source of income to you.
Yes.
Do you understand? So you have to have that, and those are your emotional connections. And I like the way you asked that. Why am I saving? Because you don't want to be in a position that I'm the only one working. It's just you working. What about your money? Is your money working for you? So we need to come to that place. And you can even start as little as $50, as little as 500 naira or whatever.
Whatever
Just
part of the world
word
you
you are. Just pick something small to start and do it every month. If you do it every month, 50 times 12 months, you by the end of the year, you have $600 invested for you. And if you put them in high interest, high rates of return accounts, you will be able to have your return that sometimes could be as high as 12%, 15%. Some even go as high as 30%.
Oh.
And if you do that, and it is tax free, all of the money belongs to you. And that is when you're gradually getting yourself from that first initial financial situation you find yourself into the next level till you attain your financial freedom. So it is very important. We're not asking for you to set half of your salary into this, or 75% of your salary, but you need to be able to put amount that you know that if anything were to happen to you, that is not the first thing you would cut off. Do you understand? It is not the first thing you cut off. So for me, when I'm doing my assessments with people, I'll say, how much can you conveniently set aside? That when push comes to shove, it will not be the first thing you would cancel. It will not be the first thing you would cut out to say, oh, I want to stop because I can't afford it. So it is very important that you put that. And sometimes another thing that I want to say is this: the race may look slow, and they say that 1,000 miles journey starts with a single step. You need to start that step in the right direction, of course. And then when you file taxes, when you have extra income, an uncle says, oh, JMN, I miss you. It's been a long time. Here is this $1,000. It is free money to you. You don't have to take it to the mall and start buying shoes and bags. Let it generate income for you. That money, when it's time for you to, I always say that when a fish is in the water, it doesn't struggle to swim. You want to be in that financial space that whatever you want to acquire does not become a struggle for you.
Yeah.
So it may look hard now, um, friends, but I want to encourage you, start with baby steps. Start with something small. Take those little steps. You can do them simultaneously to say, I want to set this aside for my emergency fund and I want to start investing. And your debt management, very, very, very important. It doesn't make any sense for you to um, be investing when you're paying interest of 22% on a card. It's so you want to get rid of that debt first. And finally, like we said about protection, it is very important. I know we didn't, like I said, you can go to the previous episode that we had, but just to recap, like it is you working, you want to also be able to protect your income and protect yourself. So you need to be able to do that in terms of your life and in terms of your health. One of the things I would encourage us to do is don't be ashamed of where you are today. Don't feel bad that, sometimes being ashamed. I was saying to someone that, oh, when I look at this thing, I feel depressed. And the person was like, the fact that you identify that it's a problem about it has a
Yes.
problem, that is a challenge. That's a call for you to fix it. Very important. And it's not where you are, it's about where you want to go.
Yeah.
And just take that right steps. And to recap, remember what we talked about. Write your emotional connections to why you want need your financial sets up very well for this year. Two is to do your assessment, do your self assessment. Where am I? Name it. Whether it's financial crisis, name it. Whether it's financial instability, financial stability, financial independence, or financial freedom, give it a name. And then look at yourself and say, where do I want to be by the end of this year? I want to leave financial crisis into financial independence. I want to leave financial independence into becoming financial free, which is financial freedom. And then you go to see an expert because they will be able to help you. And then do your analysis with your expenses, cut off those dead weights. And not you don't need everything. You do not need everything. You do not need everything. Even if you live
And
in
not just subscription. You
yeah.
do not need all the designer bags in the market.
Yeah, and you do not
You
need
do
to
not need
buy
all the shoes.
cups of coffee every Monday to Sunday. You can
You don't.
you can invest into a nice coffee making machine at home,
Yes.
which will be cheaper for you.
That was
And
funny.
yeah, and part of self love is knowing when to say no. It's
Yes.
okay to say no. And someone said it's that no is a complete sentence.
Yes.
And you will feel good. Don't betray yourself just because you want to appease the other person.
Yes.
So I know we're doing
Because if
I think
you
we're
keep
doing finances and psychology this time.
right, because
But
if
I
you
think it's appropriate for the year.
if you
So,
keep showing up for them in that manner, you're not doing any good to them. They
yeah,
won't realize that they need work.
exactly.
So you need as much as we always want people to tell us the truth, you need to tell yourself the truth
Yeah,
so that they can realize their own truth as well and be like, nah,
exactly.
this is not
Perhaps they're waiting for your truth.
maybe.
It's possible. And
Yeah.
they may be even thinking that, oh, maybe JMN will do this. And, but by the time they say, hey, she said no, then why am I stressing myself? And you find out that so it's very important. It's liberating now, actually, to be able to say no. Not that you say no to everything, like just because you want to say no or being vindictive to say no, but
Well, I would
you
like to have a very good reason.
when it comes to your finances, you have to be truthful with yourself. Can I afford this? Can I do this without having to complain or without having to accumulate interest on it? But like we all said, like I said earlier, it is baby steps. You need to start with those baby steps. Be truthful with yourself. Have set boundaries, and your boundaries is your budget, of course. And start with baby steps. Start saving with having emergency funds, and then your investments. And your investments should be something making sure that your money is working for you, making sure that you have something that's written that when you're sleeping your money is working for you, so your source of income is not just for yourself, but your investment is working for you. And another part that I will just mention, maybe we'll come back to that later in the future, is you're not just saving for immediate needs, but you're saving for retirement. You should be able to have come to a point of that financial freedom to say, this year I'm retiring. I can self-sustain myself financially.
Not when you're like 33 or in
You
2026.
know, but it's
I mean, some people say
retirement
they want
is
to
a
retire
state
like
of mind.
40.
Exactly. So you should be able to invest to a point that you can consider that point retirement. So you're not just saving or investing for a short term, you're also doing that for the long term in the long run. So that's what it is for now. So I wish you a beautiful 2026.
And that wraps up today's episode. I hope you've learned something. I hope this year do better with money. We invest our money, we save our money, and we say no to things that no longer serve us. I'm JMN, and until next time, stay centered.